Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the breaking news. King Charles has been diagnosed with some form of cancer. The type of cancer has not yet been revealed, but according to the statement from the palace, the king has begun regular treatments on Monday. Buckingham Palace says that the king remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. He will postpone his public engagements, and it's expected other senior royals will help to stand in for him during his treatment. No further details are being shared on the stage of cancer or a prognosis. The King, 75, has returned to London on Monday morning, and the palace says that he has commenced treatment as an outpatient. Although he will pause his public events, the King will continue with his constitutional role as head of state, including paperwork and private meetings.
Good day, everyone. We're coming on the air with breaking news in the United Kingdom, where King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer. Buckingham Palace just confirming the news in a statement, but not saying which type of cancer. The palace says his medical team identified, quote, a separate issue of concern while he was being treated for a benign prostate enlargement last month. The palace also says he will postpone public-facing duties while he undergoes treatment. It comes less than a year since his coronation.
According to Variety, following King Charles's cancer diagnosis, Prince Harry will travel to the UK to visit him in the coming days.
We know so far that he has been diagnosed with cancer and that regular treatments will start on Monday. We also know that this has come at a pretty bad time for the royal family in medical terms because, of course, the Princess of Wales is out of action having had abdominal surgery, and we're told she'll be out of action until Easter. And up until earlier today, we thought that the Prince of Wales was going to be putting aside public duties for a little while in order to be by her side. But it was announced earlier today that he would be going back to those public duties. So obviously at that point, they thought, well, we can't have three members of the royal family not facing the public. So obviously they knew at that stage, but clearly the king has only been on the throne for such a short period of time, has done an enormous amount of work in that time, state visits and public engagements. And yet he's a man in his 70s, and obviously they've discovered something that needs acting on immediately.
For the past few weeks, the British media have been reporting on Harry and Meghan like Queen Elizabeth was sending them notes from beyond the grave. Like, you would think that they had a Ouija board outside the palace, like, tell us all the things that Harry and Meghan did wrong. It's ridiculous. Things that are like years old. You're like, why are you even talking about this? And I knew when they were talking about Will and Kate and her planned surgery, but him rushing to her side, even though I feel like he should have been there if she had a planned surgery, but I digress. And then them also talking about King Charles and his issues. I had a feeling that everything that they were saying about Harry and Meghan was to offset something that was going to be really big coming out of the palace. And lo and behold, I saw this today and I'm like, oh, that's what they were trying to get on top of. Maybe they don't see it working out well for King Charles and they're trying to get Will and Kate back in the good graces of the public and want them to be like, you know, the golden children again. But either way, if something does happen to him and Will becomes king, that is going to be the most insufferable thing. I mean, for years. I'm not even looking forward to that.
Whoever you are, nobody wants a cancer diagnosis. So thoughts and wishes goes to the king and his family as they come to terms with the most devastating of diagnosis. But here's hoping that every oncologist that the media put on their outlets to talk about cancers, even though we don't know where the king's cancer is, that's not going to stop them talking about all cancers. May every oncologist call out the government for underfunding cancer care over the last few years as they've stripped back our public services, including the NHS, making us one of the worst performing countries in the G7 for cancer survival rates. This is the best time to highlight those concerns, as you were.
Breaking royal family news. Less than 10 minutes ago, the news hit that King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. Obviously, this means King Charles is going to have to take a step back and focus on fighting this cancer. We don't know what that means for Queen Camilla's potential engagements, but she is older as well. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is probably out till around Easter. It was quietly announced after Prince Edward came home from his overseas tour in South Africa that he too would be taking a break, which basically leaves Prince William, Princess Anne, Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. It is a skeleton cast. We do not have understudies for these roles. This is it. It is going to be very interesting to see what Prince William and his team does during this time period. There's been a lot of talk of what Prince William would do differently when he's king. Well, now is an opportunity where he kind of has to step up or step in. I don't know if there's a rule that if something is going on where the king or queen cannot perform their duties, that another member, steps in, sort of like when the president has surgery, the vice president's in charge. I don't know if there's a rule like that for the monarchy, but I bet matter of fact, we'll know. This is obviously a surprise after seeing him look so well and so healthy exiting the hospital with Queen Camilla just a couple days ago. Stay tuned for more.
Well, being a pretty vocal anti-monarchist on the internet, I was bound to get an awful lot of people message me with this news. King Charles has been diagnosed with what I believe to be prostate cancer. I believe the monarchy in the UK is an anachronism. This man is an adulterer. This man has, I don't believe, a very good moral centre. That said, he is the monarch of Great Britain. And although I don't like him, I wouldn't wish cancer on my worst enemy. I hold this man no physical ill, and I hope him a speedy recovery. He has access to the finest medical care the UK can offer, so if there is a speedy recovery to be had, he will have it. I hope he gets the speedy recovery that everybody deserves. Everybody deserves health care. I wish him all the best. I hope after his recovery, he chooses to abdicate the throne. That would be excellent. But anyway, no, I am getting absolutely no glee from this. I wouldn't wish cancer on my worst enemy. All the best, King Charles. I hope you get better. I don't like you, but I hope you get better.
Okay, if you haven't heard already, King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer, okay? And if we could just pause, rewind to how y'all behaved when Queen Elizabeth died, you can probably guess that Twitter is a mess. And before I get into it, I just want to say that nobody deserves to be diagnosed with cancer, okay? And that I know he has access to the best medical care in the entire world, and I hope he gets well soon. That being said, Twitter is a mess. And beyond the Trisha Paytas of it all, there's also all these tweets about Diana getting her lick back. And there's also all these tweets about how short King Charles's reign is going to be. And there are a lot of people in the UK and in the Commonwealth who actually just wanted to skip Charles altogether and just go straight to William. Because Charles's life has just been so problematic, and he's so ineffectual, and people just do not like Charles, and they never have. And while I personally am in a long-standing one-sided beef with Prince William, comparatively to his father, Prince William is marginally less problematic, you know what I mean? Although it is very well documented that Prince William has rage issues, and after everything that Prince Harry exposed about William in Spare, I don't really know that William's going to be much better of a king, but he'll be marginally better. And for those of you who I know are going to be in my comments being oh, you shouldn't make fun of it, you shouldn't make light of it, get over it. The royal family and the institutions they uphold are responsible for some of the most blood-curdling human suffering known to mankind, okay? Anyway, get well soon, Charles.
So Pop Base just posted out of Buckingham Palace that King Charles was diagnosed with cancer today. And yes, we have the full coverage.
A form of cancer that he has now started regular treatments for. CBS foreign correspondent Rami Inocencio is in London for more. Rami, what can you tell us about this diagnosis? Of course, he just underwent surgery now. It sounds like there's another form of cancer. The fact that they're sending this kind of communication, how serious could this be?
Lilia, hi there. Yes, and just to clarify, the initial procedure that King Charles went under last week, for which he was discharged, is not cancer. That was for a procedure for benign prostate enlargement. Unfortunately, the news is now different, as we've just gotten in the past few minutes, as they were doing that procedure for his benign prostate enlargement. They said a separate issue of concern was noted. I'm reading from the statement from Buckingham Palace, which is just past the embargo. They said that subsequent diagnostic tests have identified that as a form of cancer. He will continue, though, with his state duties, but he will step back from public engagements. Buckingham Palace also says that His Majesty has started a schedule of regular treatments, and he has also been advised by doctors to postpone any of these public-facing duties to avoid public interaction. But throughout this period, they say that His Majesty will continue to do state business and official paperwork as usual, but again, to avoid any public interaction during this time where he is being treated.
Now, if Buckingham Palace produces another statement in regard to this, we'll keep you guys posted.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.